Welcome back to UFC Ninja. Here's a peek at last week's betting results to get you ready for the Ninja's breakdown on the next card.
Hell yeah, guys, welcome back. Last week's bets, I was going heavy on Christian Rodriguez, money line, and we hit him inside the distance.
Tap your head off the canvas, kid.
You tap like chicken.
Tap your head.
We made both them bets and predictions last week, so hopefully you guys all hit them too. I know my producer hit both of them, and I also went heavy on Rodriguez at the casino, so I would never tell you to do something I wouldn't. And then we were betting on Dulidze as an underdog in a way to make money there, and I also bet on him at the casino, made money on him. And then Fremd was my second favorite of the week, and Fremd fucking found a way to lose. He was winning that fight, and then he was, just had the earpiece in from, somebody backstage, and, remember, you need to take a dive here, Fremd. And he dove in there and Gore submitted him via pre-orchestrated plan, and I'll never bet on Fremd again. So, anyway, Fremd soaked up some of our Rodriguez winnings, but we still came out on top there, and then we had a little extra from Dulidze, cashing on him too. So those were my three bets, and then our parlay, Hooper broke our parlay. We didn't win that. He got KO'd in the first round by Garcia. And then we had Turtle and Holmes as our draw bet. Fight goes the distance, and Iron Turtle finished Joseph Holmes. So lost a couple there, but we won all our heavy bets, and I hope you guys did too. Super low level female fight, guys. Ramona Pascual versus Tamires Vidal. Go with Vidal, I guess. Okay, decent scrap on our hands here. We got Jake White Kong Hadley versus Carlos the Cannon Candelario. Yeah, well, odds are saying that we got Hadley at minus 275 now. Candelario at a plus 212. Those just keep getting worse for Hadley, and Candelario becomes more of an underdog. It's going to be probably a closer fight than that, if you ask me. What it's going to be interesting to see is if we're going to see Hadley's ground game just completely overcome Candelario's, if it gets down there. And that'll be what we're questioning in Candelario, if he can keep it standing and or not get himself subbed on the ground. Just kind of looks like Hadley's going to be a little more crafty and more technical also with the ground game. Even though Candelario has shown some great wrestling and grappling and scrambles in his fights, so I think it's going to be a closer fight than it is. But if I look at my notes, what I'd say about Hadley is I got him down as hittable, kickable, excellent grappler, and some bullshit I can't read, but a couple of Go-Go Plata's finishes on his record. So Carlos, notes on him. Basically the shit I said, and dude goes for a lot of takedowns, so it means the striking ain't all that great. Yeah, I got not much for striking, so dude's going to be trying to take down Hadley, and Hadley, in my opinion, has got the more proper BJJ and skills. So we're going to lean Hadley on this one, guys, and with what I've talked about, I'm going to lean Hadley by decision if anybody's looking at betting this, or if I talk to my producer about any bets. But with them kind of odds that we got already, not looking at this fight. Alright, guys. Johnny Kid Cabano Munoz Jr. versus Liudvik, the Asian palm tree, Sholinian. Liudvik's at a plus 190, Munoz Jr. at a minus 240. Man, we know Munoz is a BJJ player. Sholinian is got a wrestling background. Striking's pretty shitty. He reaches for his punches and loads up on him also. But he does like to pressure, and Munoz doesn't like to be pressured, on the other hand. So it's interesting. But Sholinian also doesn't cut the cage off very well, so maybe Munoz Jr. could just circle around and just keep pressuring. And if it does go to the ground, what's going to be interesting to see is if Munoz Jr. can just sub him or if Sholinian's just going to wrestle, defend it, and not get taken down, or get back up if he does, and turn it back into a chasing down Munoz Jr. in a pressuring battle, but not cutting off the cage. And their striking is both lower level, so there's not going to be any huge shots landed that put anybody into real jeopardy. So it's just going to be a scrap of attempted takedowns and shitty punches and pressure by Liudvik. So maybe Liudvik by decision or Munoz Jr. by submission, I think is how you could hedge this fight if you're going to bet on it. And I might be looking at Munoz Jr. by submission just because when somebody's that strict of a BJJ player where, you know, you see how shafty their striking is and it's taken him a long time to get it better. He has done, jiu-jitsu since like 5 years old, I think, or something. But it shows, you know, and when it goes to the ground, dude finishes. So he's crafty down there, and if it gets there, the money will be in the bank. But that's all I got on this one, boys. Good luck. Jinh Frey versus Polyana Viana. Well, somehow I must have accidentally watched one of Jinh Frey's fights because I took some notes on the bitch. That must have been chopped as hell, but we'll take her just out of spite. Okay, guys, next up we got a scrap on our hands. We got Mario Battleborn Bautista versus Benito, the Golden Boy, Lopez. Bautista's at a minus 315. Lopez at a plus 235. Lopez hasn't fought since 2019. He's been chasing gold bars in the realty business. And Bautista, he's been chasing the fucking gold belt for the UFC because he's fought twice this year already. And this will be his third fight of the year. For Bautista, dude's heavy-handed, likes just take down, ground control, ground and pound, pressures, hits hard. Lopez, a bit of a decent submission game, ground game, if you ask me. Not real good striking defense. He does have leg kicks for a good offense, but Bautista's a southpaw here, so that should save him from any real damage there from Lopez. So I'm pretty much seeing Bautista either by KO or decision if Lopez is able to make it to the bell. Bautista, you know, he's got Battleborn tattooed on his forearms, and he's going to fucking go in there and go savage mode and go to war against Lopez, and Lopez is going to be thinking about fucking, you know, vacuuming houses, getting it ready to sell. So that's pretty much all I got on this one, boys. If you're betting on Bautista, good luck at them odds, you know, minus 315 money line, but maybe we can get him by finish, maybe just inside or something. There'd be something good there, but otherwise I'm going to stay away from it. Okay, guys, next up, we get Miranda, Fear the Maverick versus Shanna, the Shanimal Young. And you'd think I'm making up them nicknames. I'm actually not. Those are the real fucking things there. So, got some vicious females going to war here, I guess. Yeah. Take the fearing of the Miranda Maverick, I guess. All right, guys. We got a decent scrap, I think, coming up here. We got Darrick, Nebraska Minner, and Shayilan, the Wolverine, Nuerdanbieke. And I gave Minner the nickname Nebraska. There's only a few good things that came from Nebraska. That's corn, Tiger Bomb MMA, and a set of train tracks that we hit in the middle of the night when we were heading to Colorado to go elk hunting. And woke my old man up when I was driving. And I think I had my permit at the time, but woke him up out of a deep sleep, and he grabbed the wheel thinking we were going off-road, but... Shout out to those train tracks. They were fucking huge. But, yeah, Minner's at a plus 170. Shayilan's at a minus 210. And Minner, we've seen him get controlled by Hall. Just a dumbass. Was too aggressive with his striking against Hall, trying to get him out of there like a little kid. And he's 31. He should know better on how to strategize that a little bit better, especially with Kraus in his corner. So Shayilan, he's a little bit reckless meat and muscle from Beijing. Seems to have like 4 minutes of cardio and then kind of gasses for the last minute. And then he comes back in the second and third round with like decent, okay looking cardio. So that's unique. And I looked at the altitude in Beijing, and it was like 143 feet above sea level. So nothing special there. Like Shayilan's just all muscle, but somehow his muscles get revived, and he could win by decision against Minner. Minner, I think the way he could win is by a guillotine choke, first or second round. And otherwise, I see Shayilan staying on top control in the wrestling exchanges, winning with that control time, or Shayilan landing a huge punch on Minner and putting him out. Or another potential is that Minner could land a huge KO punch on Shayilan just in the first round. So this round, or this fight, could end by TKO in the first round, or Minner could get a sub like in the last minute of the first round, or in the second round, in my opinion. Because Shayilan, when he gets to that 4-minute mark, he gets tired and he just dives for that takedown. He's a little bit reckless with it, and against somebody like Minner who goes right for that neck, he could snatch that up and send Shayilan back home. So we'll see what happens in that, guys. That could be a potential bet, though. A Minner by sub could be some pretty good odds on that, as he's already an underdog. We'll look at that in the bets. Okay, guys, welcome to the dojo. Shout out to my producer on this one. This story takes place somewhere around 2007. Narrow it down. My producer will put the exact year if I'm wrong. But anyway, I was about 21, and my producer was about 16, somewhere in there. And anyways, we were up in North Dakota for a wedding, and we were playing around in this old school, this abandoned school. Had a couple different leveled roofs on it. They're all flat, so you could jump up, play around on there. At the time, I was really into indoor rock climbing, and did some outdoor, but rock climbing, and I was into martial arts at the time, ninjutsu, really heavy. And we were up there messing around, and all of a sudden I heard my brother say from behind me, I hadn't been looking back there, he said, there's a guy coming. And I hadn't looked back that way for a while, and just the way he said it, was like somewhat put me on alert. And I turned around, and this dude's about 50 feet from the school and my brother. Really, my brother's a little bit behind me, and I'm 20 feet in front of him on the school and different ceiling. And I jump off this roof, jump up another roof, running towards where this guy's coming. He's coming across like this 100-yard field from his house. Some old farmer guy. Apparently he was going to come over there and scold us, grab us by the ear or the arm or something, and rip us off the school. The way he was coming in like an old Chip Diamond, with authority. And he wasn't even looking up. He was in such a head rush, like a bull, like coming over with his partial jog, but old man fucking hard walk, farmer walk. And anyway, I make it down to the edge of the building just as that guy's getting there, and I jump off the last roof right down in front of this guy and stop him in his tracks. And I put my arms like a Chip Diamond up on him. I double diamond him, and stop, look him right in the eye. At the time, I was basically fully grown, 6'3" or 6'4", and definitely in good shape at the time. And like I said, I had my jiu-jitsu. I'd been doing that for a couple years at that point. And besides that, I had my wrestling growing up from my dad, and went toe-to-toe with this guy. He was ready to come up there and rip us down by the arms, and I literally had to jump off of this school building right in front of this guy, into this guy, to stop him in his tracks. It was fight or flight. This guy was ready to fight, and I stopped him right there, and I was just super mean and aggressive, and I think I yelled at him. I said, "What do you want?" Right in his face. And he stuttered for a second, didn't move or say anything, and he said, you can't be playing around up on there at school or something. And I said, yeah, why not? And he said something about it being unsafe then, and like the ceiling's gonna cave in or something. And something else that he was gonna do, I don't remember what he said, maybe call somebody or do something, but I stood there, stared him down right in the face, eye to eye. And I told him, you go call whoever, do whatever, tell whatever. My aunt lives right down the road. I said, you do whatever you want to do, man, but you're not gonna do nothing, to me and my brother. And that dude ended up turning around, walking his ass right back across that 100-yard field and walking home. And that was the end of that. There was not a single physical piece landed, but we were inches away. Our foreheads were inches away from each other, And like I said, it was like two bulls that were going to collide, and they stopped, right as they came toe to toe. And I had to run past my brother, jump down off this couple ceilings, roofs to get to the ground right in front of this guy. And I'm telling you, man, he was looking like he was going to grab us and rip us up by the arms and, throw us down off of that school. And that motherfucker didn't lay a hand on either one of us. So, anyway, that's the martial arts story of the week. Pays to be in shape. Whatever you're doing, make sure you try to stay in shape. Get out there, walk, hike, bike, and if you got a punching bag at home, make sure work your arms. Get your workouts in. Be ready for anything that life brings to you. All right.
Everywhere around the world they have bullies. Just you have to be ready. Never give up.
All right, guys. Mark, the Olympian, Madsen versus Grant, KGD, Dawson. Dawson's at a minus 230. Madsen's at a plus 183. Pretty decent odds for Madsen. Having his wrestling background, I think his wrestling technique is, obviously excellent. And Dawson's ability to mix martial arts together is pretty good. So, if anything, we're going to see Madsen struggle with that, and Dawson being able to mix it up so much that tires Madsen out and throws him off, and Madsen can't imply his Olympic wrestling game, which I hope he tries to do here, and I hope Madsen has been working on his striking and even his ground and pound and ground control, mixing it with, hopefully he's been training some jiu-jitsu to understand how to mix those two together and, finish fights on the ground, because wrestling's, such a restrictive sport. They don't want you finishing people other than a pin. So if Madsen's been doing that, I like him. I like him in a DraftKings lineup. I'll put one of them together this week. I think he could get some takedowns on Dawson and score some points and gain some ground control over Dawson and potentially get the win this week. Otherwise, we'll see Dawson do what he's done to a few other people. He's twisted everybody he's fought up and submitted a few of them and looked pretty good. So he's crafty, and I'm interested to see if Madsen's old man strength and Olympic technique of wrestling can control Dawson here, and if Dawson is going to, be the minus 230 that he is and win the fight. We're going to find out. I don't feel too strongly one way or the other on this one, guys, so I'm going to leave it at that. If you got any bets on this one, though, good luck to you. Okay, guys, we got Tagir Ulanbekov versus Nathan Mayhem Maness. Maness at a plus 175. Ulanbekov's at a minus 220. So Ulanbekov's last fight against Tim Elliott, and he looked okay. I thought he was going to look better than he did. He looked really gassy and really sloppy. Maness's last fight, he fought Umar Nurmagomedov, Tagir's teammate, and Umar looked great, as I thought he would. Thought he'd dominate that fight, and Maness managed to not get finished in that fight. I think it was the length of Maness and the height that kept Umar from landing a punch or kept him from submitting, because Maness just had the leverage to escape, keep himself safe throughout that fight. And, Ulanbekov lost that last fight, and Khabib is his coach. I mean, I don't know if Khabib sent him into the Bears training facility and, gave him one of the big, large adult males and, seeing if Tagir came back out alive or not. So if Tagir's fighting, he must have made it out alive, and he's certainly going to look better than he did last time. Otherwise, Maness is probably going to have his number, and, he might get sent back into the cage during mating season and not come out. I don't know. But fucking, Maness looks better to me than he should here. Tagir is going to have a fight on his hands, and I think the only bet I'd have on this is for this fight just to go the distance. I don't think either of them are aggressive finishers, And I think that neither of them really have the technique or power to hurt each other that bad to put each other out. So I think this fight goes the distance. So if you got any other bets on this one, good luck, guys, and I hope it works out for you. All right, guys. The Sloppy Joe fight of the night. If you ever had a Sloppy Joe, you know what I mean? It's just, it's going to be a mess. That's what I mean here. Josh Parisian versus Chase, the Vanilla Gorilla Sherman. Parisian's at a plus 110. Sherman's at a minus 130. And you're looking at this fight, straight right away. You see Parisian standing up a lot in the first round and getting clocked, hit a lot. And you look at Sherman in his first rounds, and he looks really good in his first rounds in the striking department. He's got a little bit of movement, pretty decently quick hands. And Parisian's slower and back straight up. And Sherman likes to pressure in the first round. So if it happens to end in the first round, I'd say Sherman by a KO. And if it makes it out of the first round, I'd say Parisian either wins by decision or a ground and pound finish in a Sloppy Joe mess. So that's about all I got to say on this one, guys. We'll check that prop for Sherman by TKO in the round one. Otherwise, if you're betting on it, good luck to you. Okay, guys, we got Daniel D-Rod Rodriguez versus Neil, the Haitian sensation, Magny. Rodriguez is at a minus 103, Magny at a minus 120 right now. So pretty close on odds. And the fight was supposed to happen last month. So Rodriguez, D-Rod, had a staph infection. And if you've ever had staph or seen somebody that's had it, you know that it's fucking really bad bacteria and fucking can get really bad if you don't treat it right away. And I actually had a buddy who had it. I was living in Hawaii for a while, and he fucking got it really bad. Didn't know what it was for a while. We were from the Midwest, and he didn't fucking have a clue. Shit got the size of a particular coin. I forget which one, but I know I could dig that picture up, have my producer put it up for you. But, it looked like a volcano of white. And just disgusting through his whole arm. It was like one of them freezy, icy pops you can get. You keep in the freezer. It was in his forearm, about as long as one of them and as wide as one of them. He had to go to the urgent care eventually, and they fucking were pushing that shit out like freezy pop. And, just disgusting, man. And, and then in return, the doc fucking jammed a bunch of gauze as far as he could up my buddy's forearm to try to soak the shit up for the next few days. And told me, yeah, come back and we'll pull that fucking gauze out. More of the shit will be on there. And that's what happened. But, the shit is nasty and super, I don't know if it jumps or swims to other people, but when he had it, I had an open wound on my fucking ankle. And being as how he had just went to the doctor, I knew what it was, and I pushed that shit out like the doctor did. I seen on him, and I got fucking super lucky and was able to get this shit out, I guess, right away, and it didn't fucking further infect me and grow, and I never had to go in for it, but kept an eye on that shit, and I probably poured some booze on it or something, to thinking I was gonna help it, but burned a bunch of grass and I got better. So D-Rod is going to be on some serious antibiotics to get rid of that bacteria as well, to help out. And only a month later, Magny's going to be, on his normal cardio, looking pretty decent. D-Rod, maybe he'll come hard and heavy early because of the situation he's in, personally that he's in. But I don't really have any other understanding on this fight other than normally I'd be looking at D-Rod for his decent stand-up. So if you got any bets on it though, guys, good luck. I'm kind of emotionally distressed on it, so I can't make any bets due to the staph infection situation. So good luck. All right, the People's Co-main event: Marina Rodriguez versus Amanda Lemos. And since Christian Rodriguez won last week, we're going to go with Rodriguez on this one. All right. You can break down the kicks. You can break down the punches. You can break down the stats. But you got to break down the bets at the end of the day. So here we go, guys. Our favorite this week was Jailton Almeida by far. And he's out now. Once Christian realized who he was fighting, he pulled out immediately. So now we got Bautista as our second favorite this week. And then for the parlay, we're going to put Bautista in there with Hadley and Chase Sherman. So hopefully that hits. And then our draw of the week, my producer's favorite bet of the week, we're going to have Tagir versus Nate Maness. Hopefully that cashes out for us. And then two bets we're going to have a little bit on is the Hadley versus Carlos fight goes the distance. And Tagir versus Maness, that fight goes the distance. That's a more serious bet than the draw, of course. And then two crazy bets I'm going to just put out there for you because I know my producer likes having fun. He'll probably bet on these no matter what. Just so I'll throw them out there for you guys too. Sherman by KO or round 1 KO. And then Darrick Minner by submission as well. So that's going to be those bets. And then I am going to do a DraftKings lineup. And if it's not on the video here posted, I'll have my producer post it in the comments below as soon as I get it done. Because I'm not sure if I want to do a captain's lineup or not. And they don't open them up till later in the week. So good luck on your other bets this week, guys. Let's get it. All right, till next week, guys. Life before death. Strength before weakness. Journey before destination. Keep it real.